Hello, everybody. My name is Fresky, and just a little bit about me before I start. I've been boxing for about a year now, and I have two amateur fights. I'm currently 2 and 0, and I fight in a novice division at 147. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about the importance of mental health in boxing. So, to start off, I just want to say something quite upsetting. However, I'm going to also reframe that. So, number one, nobody cares, right? And that sounds pretty upsetting, but it's also pretty freeing when you really think about it. What do I mean when I say nobody cares? I mean that nobody is going to advocate for you the way that you can. Only you know your conscious experience. If you're telling your coach, hey, I'm not feeling this today, and you really aren't feeling it, only you can stand up for yourself. You know, I there are instances where you'll tell a coach, "Oh, I can't do this," and it's not because you're lazy. Me personally, I've never quit a workout. I've always never missed any boxing classes. I've always been through everything. There are just some days where I just don't have it, either mentally or physically, and coaches some coaches try to apply that like cookie cutter advice like, oh, keep pushing, but sometimes you don't have any room to push, you don't have any more to pour out of your cup. So it's important to identify those moments and to like advocate for yourself and to stand up for yourself, because when you truly have nothing to give, you can't keep giving. You're going to crash. You're going to fall out of love with your sport. And in a sport like boxing, that can lead to injury, like injuries that will follow you forever. If you just haphazardly get in the ring when you know in your heart that you're not feeling it, you're not there, that can stick with you. That can ruin you. So, let's see. Like I said, it's up to you to ensure that your body is getting the proper care, especially as an amateur boxer. We don't have all the financial access that superstars have. We don't have a team of nutritionists. We don't necessarily have, excuse me, a dedicated strength and conditioning coach. So it's up to you to educate yourself about your body, your mental health, and be your biggest advocate, your nutritionist. You really have to take it upon yourself to realize, okay, what do I need and how do I give it to myself? That's important. Don't just be a drone. Don't just go through the motions. You actually have to pay attention to how your body's feeling and really consider it. So, far too often, young athletes run themselves into the ground. They either end up physically or mentally burning out. And like I said, this can lead to getting injured. There have been times where, hold on, water is important. I'll get to that later. There have been times where, I was mentally burned out and I still got in there and sparred. And those were some of the times where I just got the brakes beat off of me. And so I made a bad situation worse. I could have just worked on something else, and I was just a yes man to my coach, and I got in the ring. And now I was already burnt out before the spar, and then afterwards, it just completely wasn't my day. I felt frustrated because I didn't learn anything, and then I have a headache because I just got clobbered in sparring. So, like I said, those are times where you want to be your biggest advocate. You have to identify these times. There's a difference between you're being lazy and you need a break. There's a clear difference. And as a young man, I didn't understand that. Now that I've been exposed to having zero energy, to having real mental health crises due to overworking, I have wisdom and I'm trying to share it to the next generation so that you guys also don't crash in these ways that I've crashed. Boxing is tough. It's strenuous on the body and it's mentally draining. And you only have so much energy to give. And it's important that you protect the energy that you have to give. And a lot of boxers have other things to do. Personally, I'm in school and I also work. Right now, I work two jobs and I'm in school. So, I got to protect my energy both inside the gym and outside the gym. So like protecting my energy inside the gym, if I don't have it, I got to be real honest with myself and in sports science it's called modifying. I have to be able to modify my training. If my right hand hurts, I got to use my left hand. I'm not going to sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm a tough guy. I'm going to use my right hand anyways," because human bodies don't work like that. If you're truly injured, you need to rest and modify your training. And I'm not saying this because I'm like, "Oh, like take it easy on yourself." This is really evident in sports science literature. So, how do we perform self care? Let's get into that a little bit. So, what I've been doing that's been really good for me is active recovery activities such as hiking, swimming, basketball, walking. Like these things all keep you moving while you're recovering. Also, make sure you're stretching as well. It's important to mix it up sometimes, spending 5 days in the gym doing the same thing. Not only is it strenuous on your body, but it could really just take a lot out of you. So you got to also be able to mix things up, give yourself different looks because when you're actively recovering, you might actually come across epiphanies that relate to your sport. For example, right, I was just taking a nap because I'm employing self care. I'm just not feeling it today. So I was taking a nap and I've been dealing with a difficult situation in training and I completely formed a new perspective while dreaming actually, which was very interesting. I'm transitioning to a new team and it's been very difficult for me. And in this dream, I realized that, yeah, of course it's difficult. I'm training with a professional and I'm in a professional fight camp right now. I'm blessed to have that experience to be around people who are so ahead of me. I'm blessed to be the runts of the litter and I have so much to learn. And I wasn't able to reframe that until I slowed down a little bit and took my nap. I wanted to go work out so badly. I wanted to run. I wanted to jump rope. I was just itching, but I had to literally force myself to just freaking sleep. So, okay, another way to perform self care. Don't neglect your protein intake, clean stuff like fish, steak, chicken, eggs, and also healthy fats such as avocado and stuff like that. Complex carbs also help you store energy for a workout later. I mean, I have rice with my food a lot because I'm Puerto Rican, but whatever works for you, just make sure you're getting those nutrients because that's vital, especially protein for muscle recovery. Because, when you're doing intense sports, you just get sore as hell. Drink plenty of water. I'm a big advocate for water as a combat sports athlete. What helped me learn about the importance of water was having water taken away from me. When I was like weight cutting for my freaking two fights, I was not myself. Like your brain is, I don't know the exact percentage. Let's just say 70% water. Somebody look it up and let me know. Your brain is a lot of water, and when you're just depriving yourself of water, you just don't function as normal. Like your thought processes are different. Hell, I would even say that it affected my personality. I felt super irritable and it just wasn't to play. Also, another tidbit of information about safety in combat sports with water. So like, you get knocked out when your brain touches your skull and like, when you're consuming water normally, there's like a layer of water that separates your brain from your skull. If you're dehydrated, that layer of water diminishes, so you're actually at more risk of getting slept. And getting slept, let's just say it's just not good for you. It's just not good to be sleeping and to be getting knocked the hell out. I have more to say on safety and sparring and recovering, but I'll say that in another video. Another thing, another way to take care of yourself, stretching. Stretch a lot. A lot of young athletes don't stretch, they just don't do it. Stretch morning, afternoon, day, night, anytime, bro. You just got to keep stretching because, if you feel sore in one area and you like if you don't stretch it, you're going to allow that region to lose mobility. So like even if it might hurt, you got to retain your range of motion and really not force yourself, but I've had issues where like this wrist was hurting and it was like, I went to the doctor and they said to do these stretches. Obviously, don't overdo it, but like don't run away from the pain of retaining your mobility. And lastly, but not least, I would say you got to find a creative outlet like music, art. I mean, personally, like I do music and art. I haven't recently, but a really big outlet for me is content creation. Just because I enjoy sharing knowledge and wisdom that I've gathered, and it makes me feel as if I'm doing something good for other people. So find something other than the sport that makes you feel good. And lastly, you just got to be your biggest advocate. Be your biggest advocate. Don't let anybody bully you into training that you know intuitively in your gut. If you know that this is not for you right now, and if you know that you don't have what it takes to do this at this very moment, if you need to modify, if you need to rest, you got to be your biggest advocate because nobody's experiencing your conscious lived experience but you. So if you know truly, and if your gut and if your intuition is really telling you that this is not the play, you got to really act on that and take it seriously. So anyways, that's all I have right now. Next video I'm going to talk about recovering from sparring or hard workouts, and yeah, let's get it.